First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for joining us. We live stream here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom every weekday from really 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., and we cover a wide range of topics. So I want to make sure everybody knows that before we jump into today's subject. You can download the Fox 12 Oregon app, watch live or after the fact. But here in the Pacific Northwest, certainly we all love getting outside, but also we like technology, and combining those two can really bring a lot of advantages and a lot of ways to enjoy nature that maybe we didn't think about before, or ways to at least learn or educate ourselves more. And we're going to talk about that because there is a new app for the Hopkins Demonstration Forest. Now, we're going to let you know what that forest is in case you don't know what this app is and why this specific grant that was given for it is such a big deal. And we're going to do that all right now because we have our guest joining us, and he is here to talk all about that. We've got Peter Matzka from Oregon State University, and Peter, thank you very much, for being here with us. And I wanted to, start off here, just if you wouldn't mind. I know we have OSU Forest Educator as part of that. I'm gonna guess you've got a lot of titles, so would you mind letting us know, just a little bit about yourself and your work there?
Okay. Yeah, just real quick about myself and representing Oregon State University. I work for Oregon State University Extension Service based out of Clackamas County, and my office for Oregon State is actually located at the Hopkins Demonstration Forest, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But my role as an OSU Extension faculty in forestry education is to engage the youth and the general public on a variety of topics about how we manage our forests here in Oregon, sustainability, the ecosystems, and a wide range of age-appropriate kind of topics. So we see and engage mostly with the public. That's what Extension does, and my funding for that is paid for through a service district in Clackamas County that funds a lot of other programs. So it's great to be here and talk about this app. I love getting people outside. That's my job. Educate them, but this gets folks out so they can see the forest and do some of that on their own too.
And when you talk about the Hopkins Demonstration Forest, for people who might not know what that type of forest is, could you let them know what that is and how that works, I guess?
Yeah, and there's a lot of that information on the app. That's what's great about it. But the overview, the Hopkins Demonstration Forest is located off of Highway 213 between Oregon City and Molalla. It's a 140-acre working forest. It's kind of working forest in the sense of kind of a small private woodland owner that might own 20, 40, 200 acres. But in this case, it's 140 acres of sustainably managed forest, and it's a working laboratory. So that's where I bring my audiences out, the youth and the adults and some of those woodland owners. We educate them through Extension. But the really unique part is Hopkins is a privately owned nonprofit, and it is open to the public 365 days a year, 7 a.m. till there's a sign on the way in when the sun sets. There is no charge, and this place is almost entirely volunteer run. And so it's a real privilege to work with the Hopkins Forest Forever, and a team of volunteers that really assist OSU's mission and just educate the public and give them a great space to enjoy.
I mean, so many different things, even just from that video right there, just showing some of the stuff that you can do out there at the forest. And, one thing I'm wondering about is talking about the app. So, a lot of times you think getting outdoors, get away from technology, but that's really not the case for very many of us right now anymore. And so can you tell us about this application and how that goes to further the goals of getting people outside and learning more about the forests, that one in particular, and even our surrounding areas?
Yeah, and obviously when you get into the outdoors, disconnecting with that technology, it's one of the benefits. But in all honesty, technology can be a great assistance for us as well. So one of the things that the app really does is it provides an interactive map of the forest. So 140 acres, there's about 5 to 6 miles of hiking and road trails that you can kind of hike around and see the different demonstration areas. But a lot of folks are getting away from using that paper map. And it's not that they can't read a map, it's just a comfort level. So we're so used to using Google Maps and even some of the software now and apps out there like All Trails that tell us about these hikes. Hopkins Demonstration Forest is on there. We're just getting used and a comfortableness with that electronic kind of interaction and in navigation. So in order to take that a step further, and it's not just an interactive map where you can see where you are, what there is to see, you can click on different features. And when you click on that, it pulls up some information around it. So we can't really do that with a piece of paper. We have those here. You can get a paper map and it has some information. But as you're walking around, you can see all the different demonstrations and aspects of the forest that we really can't communicate fully in that paper form. And there's also a lot of other cool things, wildlife and plant identification that we're building into the system and apps. So as you're out and about, you can see some of the flora and fauna that are out here in the forest.
I mean, as much as I was talking about that, not having technology out there, but I do think that that would be so advantageous too. Walking around a place like Hopkins and just being like, what is that plant? And then to be able to pull something up and have it from you all, or know a story about the forest and just what it's doing there, for all those different projects that you have, and for educating people on that and enjoying the wilderness. Do you think that things like this app that you have so far, can help encourage more people to get out into the wilderness and utilize something like this?
Well, absolutely. One of the things I see with the youth that come out to Hopkins and engage with the OSU Extension field trips and activities, they're sometimes saying this is the first time they've taken a mile or two long hike in the forest. It's intimidating. It's a new environment. So if we can make that interface between someone in their home and getting out to the forest a little easier, a little more comfortable, the Hopkins Demonstration Forest, it is a very I want to say safe. The forests are very safe, but it's a very comfortable place to kind of make your first visit. There are no cars and traffic typically running through the forest, and with this app, it's kind of that entryway into the woods. Not every place you go is going to have an application. We have great cell coverage here, so that makes it easy. But this is the first step, and I hope by doing this, people interacting with this app and feature, they can then interact and engage other parts of Oregon's forest. I mean, we have half of our state, 30 million acres almost of forest in Oregon, and much of that's public lands to explore. So Hopkins is a great place to learn, kind of get that first few steps in, and then go out and explore the rest of Oregon and the rest of the Pacific Northwest.
I love it. Getting people out there, to learn more, to explore more. If you had, I'm sure this is, as you mentioned, you're going to be continuing to add more things on there. What would your ultimate goal be to have included within this app?
Well, within the app, and I keep mentioning this app, and I want to make sure I get Clackamas County Office of Tourism and the Mount Hood Territories grant that was almost $38,000 of funding to go along with some in-kind and match from the Forest Forever Hopkins owners that made the grant app possible. But really the goal, as it sits, it is a work in progress. I mean, it is a complete app that we're going to continue to add stuff to, make revisions, additions, but really the goal is to have interactive lessons that I can use with a group that comes, but more importantly, use it with groups that there's no one around. They come on their own. And if they choose they want to do a plant identification walk, we'll have that built into the app. That's not there now, but kind of long-term goals, the foundation, the bones are there, and there's some great content to explain what this place is, but that's just the first step, taking it to the next level of interacting with folks that I physically have here, but also those that aren't. And then lastly, the cool thing, we have a foundation of a nice educational app and approach that maybe, and I'm hoping, will translate to other forest owners, maybe public ownership could take the foundation and app, or we have a lot of small private woodland owners that might take this framework and platform and decide that they want to do something on their own property. So it's not cheap to necessarily build these. It takes a lot of time working with the computer folks, but it was a great process and project, and I learned a lot about app creation, and hopefully the app creators learned something about Oregon's forests.
I love it. Yeah, and bringing those two worlds together. And as you mentioned, yeah, it's not cheap to get something built right off the bat. I mean, that takes a lot of work. Even just what you have here, I keep looking at my phone because I have the app on it, which is available, on the app stores. So Apple Store, Google Play, you can get them. It was right there behind you. Good marketing.
Yeah, I put the poster up, and yeah, it's on the app, the Google and Apple stores, free to download, and give it a try. Give us some feedback. It's again, it's a work in progress, and looking forward to growing it and using it more and more to engage the public.
And real quick, you did mention it, and I just wanted to go back to that too, talking about the Clackamas County Office of Tourism and Mount Hood Territory. And so can you just tell us how that works, as far as receiving a grant from them, or how that, how that accommodation started in the first place, how that match up?
Well, again, because Hopkins is a nonprofit, I keep using the word Hopkins, Forest Forever Incorporated, FFI, is the nonprofit that manages Hopkins. Because of the nonprofit status, we do in kind of partnership with OSU and FFI, they go after grants that increase exposure to the public, our natural resources, how they're managed. And so this is one of a few grants that we've gotten, but basically as a board, FFI, Forest Forever Board, is a group of 13 individuals, kind of come up with some creative ideas. They take the feedback from us OSU forestry faculty that engage and work out here in the forest to do our education, and we come up with innovative ways to increase exposure and access. And this. We've done things like trail upgrades. We've added in some ADA pathways around some kind of key features to improve accessibility. But this is an accessibility for all. And so a lot of the grants that we've worked with through Clackamas County Tourism and the Mount Hood Territories have really focused on that access and really making sure access for all is an important piece of all those grants. So it's just a process of writing, the goals, the purpose, and coming up with a narrative to do a great work. So this is, again, a great example of one of those projects.
Well, Peter, thank you very much, for joining us just to talk about it and to go through, what this is and all the work that you do. And as you mentioned, Hopkins, I mean, that's not that far from the Portland metro area for people to get out there, easy to get to and access, and, go out there and try out the app and explore some of the amazing things that you have up there.
And I'll just throw the last thing in is the Hopkins Demonstration Forest is always looking for volunteers and folks to participate out here, engaging the public. We've got a great team of volunteers that help maintain the place and do a variety of projects. So it's when you come out here, people fall in love with the place. And honestly, it's one of the most amazing nonprofits I've ever worked with, and really encourage folks to get out here and see what some good work can be done, not only with the nonprofit, but with the Clackamas County Tourism Grants and Oregon State University Extension. So yeah, appreciate the time here.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 12 Now.
Great. Thanks a lot.
And for everybody watching, we are live streaming. We're going to go ahead and switch our programming back. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you'll see this end. But you can always go back and watch it again. Feel free to share it if you're watching on our apps. That's a great way to watch it. It will also be here if there's any breaking news between now and 4 p.m. if you're watching live. So that's about another 45 minutes. But otherwise, thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate having Peter on just to talk about all of that. And, different ways that technology can help you engage the outdoors and vice versa. But that's it for right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.